Awake. Wake up, everybody. You better not go to sleep. We're going to finalize this talk about having you awake in your business. And I told you on the last video that we were going to go over what the acronym AWAKE mean. Audit, watch, adapt, keep, and expand your business. And this is going to be a part of everything that we're going to talk about and what you're going to learn and what you're going to discover and what is going to help you to leave a legacy, to structure your business, to build systems, to scale in your business, and to come up with strategies. And I want to just briefly let you know this too. Stop collecting information and start creating your momentum. To build your business momentum, to push the dream business momentum. We're getting ready to finalize everything with the enrollment for that program. So this is the 90-day intensive that I mentioned to you, but I'm calling it something else. Well, not I'm calling it something else. It's going to be a program, after carefully going through things and discussing them with a few people that are helping me to they're going to come in and they'll come in as a guest in some part of the program. And we decided that I would do it, give it another meaning and another in intense um goal, put it that way, okay, instead of the intensive, the 90-day intensive. And so inside, what you're going to know, what you're going to learn, you'll be using AI strategically to research opportunities and work more efficiently, getting clear on your business model, positioning ideas, and those things, the things that's going to help your business grow, creating strong offers for people to understand what they, how to sell to others, basically. And so, wouldn't it be nice for you to just being able for 3 months, 12 weeks, and 90 days, however you want to, identify it. Wouldn't it be nice to have someone that you ain't got to worry about trying to figure everything out, trying to halfway go and research on YouTube and try to halfway find this and find that and put the pieces together. And, and you got with this Push the Dream business momentum, you got one location. We're going to go over everything you need for that particular, for to help you to get your to be able to seize those opportunities. And so that is what it is. And then a few more other things: building funding readiness businesses, being able to get funding, being able to know where the grants are at the time that you and I will be working together. We're going to live apply for some of those grants, and possibly helping you to get more structured and prepared for getting loans, finding out what kind of business credit that you can get for your business. All of that is going to be a part of what we are doing for those 90 days. So you're going to come out there strong in, you know, being having those opportunities for you and just walking you through and setting you up for success. And I know you hear that a lot, but we're really going to be taking action. This is going to be full pack action. And so it's going to be left up to those, if you are going to be a part of it, it's going to be left up to those that want to do it. That want things to change in their business life and even in their personal life. And you're going to have to take the action yourself. You're the one that's going to be the driving seat. I'm just going to give you all the information and the tools and and the connections in order to be able to get it done. Turning your expertise into income producing momentum. It's because a lot of you have skill sets, you have things that you just don't know where to go to be able to get an opportunity. And that's what this is going to be about, and helping you to strengthen those areas where you need them, and having systems in place so where you can make them happen. And then when you get stuck in something for those 90 days, we're going to be there. And by the time we finish working together, and by the time you finish going through some things and making adjustments in along the way, you'll be good from there. You'll know what you're doing then. So let's get back to talking about not going to sleep. I just want to, insert that and let you know about this 90-day intensive, this Push to Dream Business Momentum. Audit, watch, adapt, keep, and expand. Now, let's first talk about the audit. Knowing audit is, the audit we're going to talk about, the knowing what is actually happening in your business. I just, sometimes I have people ask me, well, Sandy, how many people do you have following you? Or how many people do them, likes and follows do you have? Those things are not important in the scheme of things, because when you are looking and watching your metrics is a little bit different than watching and seeing what people are liking and following you. That really, I know you may think that it means something, but that really don't mean anything. What really matters is your analytics. And a lot of you, if you're on social media, you have to set your accounts up to for as getting the metrics from, for the most part, from the business aspect, and then you can run ads in the future. But first you have to get that momentum going in your business so your ad can work. See, a lot of people have failed with running ads. I don't want to really get too deep into this, because this is all going to be in the course. I'm not the course, but this is all going to be in the program. But you have to get the momentum going, and you have to awaken the algorithm so it can have something to work with. That is one thing that a lot of you may not know, and then you may know. Who knows? I don't know. Only you know. But that is one thing that you have to know. That is what it is. And I just like with me, I put my content out. There are ways that I know when I get ready to run ads on with the Push the Dream Business Momentum. When I get ready to run ads, I know who to run them to, because I know who has been interested in what I've been speaking about. I don't focus on the views, not even the likes or the followers. The views has its own way too as well, but the views have a longevity to it. The views can tell how many, the analytics can tell for the views how long a person was there watching, and how long did you hold their attention. And it all depends on what social media platforms, if you use in social media to do you run your ads. It all depends on, or either to grow, it all depends on what platform you're using. And each analytic is different, guys. Each analytic is different. Some days when I'm doing my, content, and I'm sharing this knowledge with you guys, sometimes my LinkedIn channel would do. It all depends on what I'm speaking on. It does better some days on certain material than it does here on Facebook, and then TikTok, and YouTube and Instagram. So all of them have different data, and you have to look at that information, knowing what is actually happening in your business. I'm not saying that you have to use every bit of those platforms, but what I do, because of the climate, the change in the climate, rather, the change in what's going on around the business world here, I have to take a different approach than I used to in business. And so I just wanted to get, just to give you an example to let you see, I won't know about what you have going on until I have worked with you. And so I'm just giving you from the real life example, and I'm talking about myself. And so now let's continue on talking about the audit portion of just how that would look for you if you are looking to expand expand what you have going on with your business. Okay. Now, um, your business, your number says what's happening, and it can, like I said, it can give you two complete different things when you're looking at your views and your followers and your likes. Okay. All right. Now, and a lot of times, if we don't have this down pat, we'll say that what we're doing for his advertisement is not working. Okay. Okay. Now, how are you going to audit your business? These are the things that you must always, people, know what's going on in your business. You must always know what's going on with the financials. That's the revenue, expenses, the profit, the cash flow, the receivable, and the debt in your business. You must always know. You must always do an audit. However you choose to do this audit, my recommendations is keeping a post on it every day. Okay? If you're working for a corporation, say for instance, when I used to work, when I was in this, before I started working for myself in a salon, what happened was I used to have to close sometime, open sometime, and every day that business was keeping up with what I just said: the revenue, the expenses, the profit, cash flow, receivables, and the debt. That means, maybe inventory. Yeah, for the big scheme of things, they was looking at the overall, I'm sure, within the whole company, because it was different departments. So another thing is what needs to be audited is sales. That is your leads, your conversion. See, that's what I tell you. Every day you have to work in your business. Your average transactions and your repeat purchases from your customers. Sales has to be audited. Marketing has to be audited. What what are you how are you getting the attention? And like I mentioned to you earlier about when you're getting ready to set up your ads, this is where you're going to have to see, you're always going to have to work in and discovering how you're getting the attention. And what I'm doing now, showing and teaching you guys, I'm getting your attention. Some people may not come to the class right now. You may not come get in the program right now, but that's okay. As you learn and as you grow and as you see, follow some of these free things that I'm telling you to do, then you may say, hey, she know a little something. I'm going to further connect and work with her. And so you have to get the have that attention, but that has to be something that you're working on every day. And your operations is the next thing. There are bottlenecks. There's, finding out what wastes time in your business. If you have employees, what's wasting time, what are they wasting time on? Finding out what are they misusing your products. Let's say if you have a business that, like a salon, are they misusing your products? If they are, you got to find out, oh, you got to stop that, because that can bleed on your profit margin. It can bleed on your business totally. And then unnecessary manual work. That's what's going on now with a lot of companies. They are allowing AI to do the things for them. They are. I have AI agents that's working with me, whereas one time I felt like I was going to have to hire another, some more team. And then, my God, not too long ago, I realized that I can use this. Now, I may still have to do that later, but now I trained my agents to do the work for me versus then a physical person. And the way a lot of companies are looking at things is they're looking at that unnecessarily manual work. They're saying, hey, I don't have to pay insurance. I don't have to pay payroll taxes. There's a lot of benefits for them if they don't need your manual labor. And offers. The next thing that you have to audit is your offers. What's selling? What's not selling? What's profitable? What's going on? period. And the next, the customer service experience. Any complaints, repeat business, referrals, or drop off. You have to know every day, because all of these things, knowing each one of these things I mentioned, knowing one of them is going to help you to improve on the ones that you, the other ones, the ones that kind of like complement that one. So don't run your business from your feelings, run it from facts. You have to audit. Do not run your business from your feelings. You have to run it from facts. And what I just told you with the audit, that is a factual determination. If you audit and you do it the way I just showed you to do it, you'll be fine. And another thing, when you have an opportunity, and if you know your audit portion, all of it's going to help you though. But if you know your audit portion, you more than likely will get some eyebrows raised, and you might get that grant that you were looking for that you didn't feel like you could get. You might be able to get that loan because they'll see, hey, okay, this person can make some money. And I know you feel like, hey, you feel like, man, I don't qualify. The credit score is not good enough. I don't have any collateral. Oh, I don't meet this threshold. I don't meet that threshold. We're in a different climate now. And I know if you can prove that you can pay back the money that you want to borrow by knowing, and even by auditing your business, even before you even get started with it, I'm willing to bet you, and you have a relationship with a banker, or a relationship with whoever would be that lending institution, and talk them like a professional, you'd be surprised at what can happen. You really would. Something would be in your favor. Now, let's talk about watch. Okay? This one might be a little longer than usual. Watch. Watch your numbers, your customers, your market, and your competition. I just kind of spoke on a few of those just a minute ago. Um, Pay attention to the change in your business. That's basically what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying to you. You can be doing everything right inside of your company, while something on the outside of your company is changing the rules. So you need to watch your numbers, your customers, your marketing, your competitors, the technology, the regulations, the economic conditions, and the customer behavior. You got to always watch. The word says, watch as well as pray. So as you're praying for your business growth and success, you have to watch. You have to watch. And these are the areas what I mean when I say you have to watch. Because, in backing up, because awake means not sleeping or being conscious, and you are aware of your surroundings. You are aware of this business. That's what that means. And when you add having structure, I always tell you, you need to structure yourself. This is so important. If you don't remember anything else I say, always remember the structure is so important. And a business structure partly is how your company is going to be organized, how it's going to pay its taxes, how it's going to be legally classified, and how are you going to protect that business from debts, and then how are you going to have it as an asset? Because a lot of things in your inside of your business are assets. Like I told you, like courses, books, email. People, companies sell email list. A lot of times when you giving your email to companies, you say, we don't sell your emails and things of that nature, because it's assets to other companies. For that's an asset. And they stress that more than ever because, at one time they were terrible with that. They would sell all of your information. They would sell your email, your phone number, and everything else. But now that's different. I hope it stay that way. But we don't know. Sometimes things are not staying the same or staying the way they should. Now, the next one is adapt. You got to adapt. You need to change before circumstances make you change. You don't want to be this way in business. You really don't want to be this way in life. And this could be something. There's a difference between changing because you got a strategy and changing because you're desperate. Because when you're desperate, what you do? You make decisions that you shouldn't be making. When you're desperate, you're not thinking clearly. And you in business cannot afford not to think clear. You cannot afford to be thinking, you got to have a clear heart and mind. Yes, you do. Okay, and then some of the things is what I mean into in business. Well, let me just give you a few of things that you can do to adapt. You may have to change an offer that you have. You may have to adjust your prices, implement some new technology, eliminating some a service or two that is not, that you saying, hey, this is a waste of resources, a waste of time. We ain't making no money. We're not doing, this is not helping the business. So you may have to adapt. You may have to restructure your business operations. You may have to even create some more different revenue streams. You may have to do that. You may have to change some marketing strategies. That there's a few things that you may have to do. So you have to be able to adapt in your business. And then one of the things too, the next one is, now you got to be really, really, really careful with this one. Keep. You got to protect what you work so hard for. I talk about this all the time. Some people want to, they just don't like to hear it. They want to be combative with me some of my clients, when I work with them, and, they want to just get this super spiritual thing. But God gives us knowledge and information and understanding to do things to protect us. So he look out for us. And he also says, you know, the laws of the land, obey the laws of the land, but the laws of the land sometimes, like, having things legally structured and legally done, they can help you. Okay? So, you know, I think with this one, you have to really dissect it because you got to keep things in your business. And some of those things that you need to focus on keeping, you need to keep your customers, your money, your cash, your profits, reasonable spending. Do reasonable spending in your business. Don't go overboard. You know, have controls in place, have, cash reserves in place. You got to have all of that. And then one thing that I'm discovering that a lot of my clients, they do this, but at one time. They didn't really understand. They thought this was only for major companies. You got to have a system. You got to document that process in order to make the company work, in order to make the company do what it does in your business. Don't thinking that you can just be momming and popping it or just doing something half half done. Don't do half you know un unstructured stuff. No, don't do that, because you're not going to get far. You're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. And another thing is you have to be very careful with this too. Your business reputation. You have to, have, if you have worked years to build it, don't let anybody come in and tear it down. This is why I do contracts when I work with clients. Get them to sign the contracts, and we know exactly what we're going to do from the beginning, so there's no surprises. And that's why I like to give a proposal, and I like to find out what all do the customer want me to do. And when they tell me, guess what I do? I break it down and let them know what it's going to cost them for me to deliver on this. Now they may not like the price, but they can go with someone else, but I will not compromise. And when I'm saying compromise, I would not compromise on the integrity of the work. And so you have to be very, very upfront. You have to be very tough skinned at sometimes, because when you are working and dealing with other people, clients, customers, you just have to be straight up. That way you can have, sometimes you can be that and it still don't come out good. But for the most part, you can have a you can have a mutual agreement. So that is very important. And then also keeping your intellectual property, like your brand names, your curriculums, your processes. Protect your business assets. The creative assets that you've created. You have to protect all of this. I mean, really protect it. And I'm serious about that. The next one is expand. Being too shallow in business, it's going to keep you very small, because growth is not the same thing as expansion. So you need to expand. So let me ask you this question. Can what you're doing, can it become other things to multiply your company? Ask yourself these questions. Can it become our intellectual property? Can this system operate without me? That's a part of expansion. Can this be a repeatable process that we go through in our business? Can the profit, can it purchase or create another asset to expand the business? So you don't start off with 50 things at once. You start off with the main thing and then expand from there. So this is not, see, and this separates you from hustle mode into enterprise or to something a little bit more sustainable. And then you will attract the money, you will attract other funding to your business. When you think like this, and when you act like this, and when you do things like this. So, my dears, that is what I was telling you about. Awake. You audit, you watch, you adapt, you keep, and you expand. And so I shared all of that with you to let you know and to get you to see that this is doable. This is something for you not to go to sleep on. You better not go to sleep. You have too much work to do. If you are looking, and I know you can do it, being successful in business, however you want to dice it and slice it. I'm going to say this to you. You have so, just think about it. Just put this, it's all about you right now. Let's just answer this question. What in your lifetime that you have done that you can monetize? And then what in your life that you've done professionally or just in general that you know that you what you've done somewhere out there that you may you know that there's a problem that you can fix. And because you have the skill set to do it, you can do it. But you just don't know where to begin to package this up. You don't even know how to package it up. So where you can make some money. Everybody else is making money off of your gift. It's leaving legacies, building legacies for their children and their grandchildren. But you're giving it totally all away. And I get it and I understand. Sometimes we have to work. But how long are you not going to think about your own legacy? How long are you going to continue allowing other people to, other companies, other CEOs, how long will you be allowing others to benefit off of your knowledge of what you know? How many? And so I'm going to leave you with that question or those questions. And maybe you will see that you were created for greatness. You have greatness within you. And if you've been afraid to take a leap and take a step, the program is for you. But at the same time, some of this information may resonate with you. And you may see that is where it's a need for you to step it up a notch. Awake is what you need to be. You need to be awake. Because sleeping will not benefit you. Not any day of the week. It won't benefit you at all. It won't benefit me. It won't benefit anyone. So you can't stay asleep in your business. You get that good rest, but you can't stay asleep in your business. Okay? All right. I'll see you on the next video, and thank you so much for listening to this. And we went a little longer tonight. Just want to go ahead and finish it up. A little longer than I wanted to do this podcast here. All righty. You have a beautiful, beautiful morning, day, whatever, wherever you are. Just enjoy yourselves. All righty. Enjoy yourself in whatever you're doing. Bye-bye. Talk to y'all in the next video.